Okay. All right, we're live. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Bruce here. Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. It's my live stream, my daily live stream. Welcome to the show. What a day! It's Wednesday, a hump day. Halfway to salvation. February the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to all you folks out there. Hope you're spreading the love to those who have to, to whom you must obey. I want to say hi to everybody out there who's watching. I hope you're having a good week. Happy you're having a great day today. We're going to talk travel today. We're going to talk cruise ships. We're going to talk where do you want to go on a cruise. I got some facts and figures I came up with today that thought were kind of neat, so I'll share those with you today. And of course, it's a Q&A, wide open presentation here. You can ask me anything you want about going on a cruise, taking a trip. Bring up whatever subject you want, and we'll just go at it. I want to say thanks to my viewers. My subscriber count continues to rise. Very happy about that, of course. As you folks know, I keep a close eye on that. We were yesterday, when I went off the air, yesterday we left you, I think we were at 747 or so subscribers. And right now, I just looked a few seconds ago, 762, another 15. And we're adding 12, 15, sometimes 20 a day. I don't think we're going to get to 1,000 by Feb 20 though. Just 6 days. I do the math. Even at 20 a day, that's 120 more, and that's not going to make it. So I will probably be demonetized for a while I fight to get up to 1,000. But you never know. Last minute push. We'll see what happens. Now, if any of you folks out there know of a any of you folks out there know of a YouTuber with 200,000 followers that wants to put in a good word for me, or someone who has like a 500,000 followers on their Twitter account, and they want to do a tweet, check out Bruce, that'd be great. But I gotta say, I've been getting retweets all over the place. I've had people like my tweets, so they see a tweet that I'll make about. I'll mention my channel, or I'll mention the video that I did yesterday, or this one I'll do later. I'll mention this one, and people will click in there. They'll say, "I like your tweet," and inevitably they'll check out the video on YouTube. And then occasionally I'll notice a name. I'll notice a Twitter handle name that replicates a subscriber, or the other way around. And so there's a bit of crossover kind of happening. Now, if I could get all of my Twitter followers, which I think I have 1,760 now, if I could get those guys all to become subscribers, I'd have it made. But they're not necessarily YouTube followers, so they're Twitter followers. And there is a difference between the two, of course. And so you go with what you go with what you got, and you just keep going. My thinking is I'm growing my subscriber base one at a time, like I always have. And since December 13th, 2 months ago today, I hit 100 subscribers, and here I am at 700 and what did I say? 762. That's 662 new people in 2 months that were not a part of this channel only 60 days ago. So thank you for all of you guys, the first 100 and the latest 662 to join in. That's fantastic. And I welcome the next one with open arms, and how many ever more are coming. And also, thanks you guys for all the thumbs up you've been giving me, the thumbs ups. Really appreciate it. I noticed there's already a couple before I even started. I got my regulars who are automatic. I'm giving them a thumbs up right now. That's great. I love it. I got a message. Was it yesterday afternoon? I have an analytical thing that as a software thing that I use to kind of help keep track of my channel and how it's doing. And it sent me an alert. You've had more likes on one video in the first 24 hours of any video you've ever done. I was like, I set a record. Well, yeah, I know. We kind of mentioned that on the air the other day, and everyone piled on and hit the like button. So thank you for that. It helps with YouTube. The YouTube analytics computers and the software, they're programmed to follow likes, subscribers, comments. Any of you folks who write me a comment, YouTube keeps track of that. It's called engagement with the creator. And if the creator answers back, that's a good thing. And as most of you do, all of you know, I pretty well answer every comment I get. We occasionally get a comment that's a bit a little too far, and they don't even make it on the thing because the YouTube analytics picks up certain speech, and it just puts the message over into a sidebar. Kind of says, "Hey, Bruce, why don't you check this message out? Is it appropriate for your audience?" Which I really appreciate because there are some folks out there who love to scam things up and spam things up and so on. Anyway, so it's all good. I have bad news for any of those YouTubers out there who are following me, who are hoping I'm going to get into this game that they're playing. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers playing a game right now. It's called Sub for Sub. If I subscribe to your channel, you can subscribe to my channel. I only subscribe to channels I watch. I don't subscribe to channels I have never heard of and I don't follow and that kind of thing. And I really don't care for people to sub to me if they're not going to watch what I'm doing. It doesn't do me any good whatsoever. This notion of reaching 1,000 and everything's going to be all right, that's not the case. YouTube will reverse subscriptions that they find to be on a sub per sub basis. And I think a few folks are going to be in for a rude awakening. I've seen channels, it's shocking to me. I've seen channels that have only had 15, 20 videos ever made. I've seen some channels who haven't had a video made in like 8 months, 7 months. And they're out there asking for sub to sub. And I tell you, YouTube's just going to reverse all these folks that sub them. And they're going to go from 1,050 subscribers to 35 to 140, wherever they kind of were. They're going to go right back down. And some of them might get kicked off because it's against YouTube policy to spam the thing. It's fake. It's just fake numbers, and there's no point in it. I'd far rather grow my channel organically, like I have been, with you folks that are truly interested in following what I'm doing and talking about cruise ships and traveling, than do it the other way. So anyway, that's the end of the commercial. Welcome to the daily, my daily live stream. Let's take a look at who's here because the messages have been coming in quite fast and furious. Even before I started, I was just setting up my camera here and getting the picture right. I'm still adjusting it a little bit. You notice how the lighting is coming and going today. Here in Creston, BC, where I am, we were bright, sunny, sunshine weather about an hour ago. And again, the afternoon clouds have rolled in. And so now it's gotten much more grayer outside than bright sunshine. And the lighting now is dominated by my interior light where you can see the shadow here in my face. I have a light shining right in my face over here because if I don't have it on there, it looks like I'm in a closet. I got another light up here in my living room. And I've got whatever light's coming in from the outside. And if the sun has a chance, you'll see my complexion change into a lighter color. But right now I'm a little more golden looking. Maybe I have a nice tan. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of who joined in, Wes Morrison jumped right in. He was talking to me, saying hi to me and telling me it was 75 degrees in New Braunfels, Texas. This is like 4 minutes before I went on the air. And same with Scott Durwood. He's in Havre, Montana. How you guys doing? He's telling me the snow is melting because it's 34 Fahrenheit out there right now. And I said hi to those guys right off the bat. Now, Teresa McFarland is here. Hi, Bruce. +4 today in Waterloo, Ontario. Oh, Teresa, finally. You're finally above freezing. You're like 38 degrees Fahrenheit up there. That's fantastic. You've had 2 weeks of just terrible. She says she's thinking about wearing her shorts. Typical Canadian. A couple more degrees and we're going to look for the winter greens on the golf courses and go golfing. Let's get going. Sylvana's here. Hey, Bruce, we reached 82 degrees today here in Delray Beach, Florida. Sunny and very pleasant. Great weather for chatting with you all. A cigar and a rum and coke. You betcha, Sylvan. Thanks for joining me again. Fantastic. Love having you. Teresa McFarland is saying it's my wedding anniversary today, 24 years. Congratulations. And it's Valentine's Day. Good timing. If the guy or the girl, if the partner forgets the wedding anniversary when it's on Valentine's Day, I don't know what you're doing with them. I have no idea what you're doing. Anyway, fantastic. Congratulations. Hope it all goes well. George McCrower is here, 74 and clear in the Villages. Hi, George. How are you? Good to have you back, buddy. He's in the Villages in Florida. Scott Batchley's here today. Hi, Bruce from wonderful Ventura, California. 64 and a beautiful day. It's always like 62, 64. Very consistent there. Way to go, Scott. Charles Jordan's here. Prayers for the people in the Parkland community. Another high school shooting. Man, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Unthinkable at our age as teenagers. I was in high school in 1972, 3, 74. Unbelievable. It's a whole other world. It's just a whole other world. Teresa McFarland saying, my sister just texted me about the shooting. That's terrible. Elizabeth Breen is saying 72 and sunny in Daytona. Welcome, Elizabeth. Sherman Mercer's here. Hi, Bruce, 77 degrees Fahrenheit in Angleton and sunny, 14 days, 19 hours, and 55 minutes till cruise boarding. But who's counting? That's right. No one's paying attention to that. Those are just numbers we picked out of the air. Way to go, Sherman. I can feel the excitement, and I'm excited for you. That's fantastic. Debbie Emanuel is here. Hi, Bruce. Cooler today in Northern California. Sunny, high of only 54. That is a bit cooler, but it's still, well above freezing. Sherman Mercer saying, sound troubles, buddy. You're having troubles hearing. I've got, I notice on my phone, it looks like I'm, let me just double check here. No, I'm okay on my phone. And on my computer, let me just double check, see how I'm looking up over here. I'm okay, and everything is fine. So hopefully this is an issue only that you have, and maybe you can sign out, sign back in. Cross our fingers, you come back in with a nice clear picture or sound. Anyone else, let me know if you're having problems. Charles Jordan, Teresa McFarland, it's always ours also. Charles is saying it's our anniversary. 31 years ago today, 1987. Congratulations. That's fantastic, Charles. Teresa McFarling, happy anniversary. Betsy is here, 6 degrees Celsius in Hamilton. That's, 40, 41 degrees. It's got to be a melt fest in Hamilton. And I think you guys have got snow down there. Charles Jordan, thanks, Teresa. We're fixing out to go to dinner. Doreen Chapman is saying, hi, Bruce, +3, and I can see our lawn. Melting. Yep, it's melting. We got snow here last night, by the way. I woke up this morning, we had about 2 or 3 inches of snow on our lawn and on my front porch, but on my front porch, it's all burned off. It's all gone because we hit 35 degrees or so, but the sun is now at such a steeper angle, it's burning it off. And my driveway is burning off. I don't even have to shovel the driveway. With 3 inches of snow, we're south-facing. We're going to burn it off. So fantastic. Charles Jordan saying, I'll have to catch the video later. Teresa McFarland saying, we always cruise on for our anniversary. Leave Friday. Fantastic. Teresa McFarlane, enjoy your anniversary dinner. Charles, Debbie, Emmanuel, happy anniversary. Teresa, Paula K, hi, Bruce, 45 degrees in Hanover, a small warm-up for a couple of days. Happy anniversaries to all. Snow is all melted, and we see, see what. She's saying that now that the snow's all melted, she can see what the dog left behind. It's a cheap kind of fertilizer. I don't know if it's all that effective for growing lawns and stuff, but yeah, a little gift, huh? A couple. Oh, man. Teresa's saying, thank you, Debbie. Teresa McFarland, thanks, Paula. Doreen Chapman, happy anniversary to all you lovebirds. Teresa McFarland, thanks, Doreen. Peter in Australia is saying hello. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, 87 degrees Fahrenheit in Brisbane, Australia at 8 a.m. It's summer in Australia, man, and it's warm there. Welcome, Peter. Good to have you back today. Charles Jordan sounds it's good here. Sound is good here, Bruce. Fantastic. Sherman Miller, I'm back, and it was on my end. Thank goodness, Sherman, that's all it was. I'd hate to have it to be a system-wide, screw up. For those of you who've never been here before, who are watching this live stream, you're wondering, what's going on? I'm Bruce with Traveling with Bruce, and I'm saying hi to all the folks who are signing in. What we usually do at the beginning of this little telecast is everybody tells me where are they? So, what town, state, country. What's your high temperature going to be today? And we kind of compare notes, and people are saying hi to everybody because a lot of these folks are here every day, or out of the 6 days I'm on, Monday to Friday at 5 Eastern and Saturdays at 2 Eastern. I have folks that are on 2 or 3 times a week come and see me. Some folks come once in a while, and others are here every day. Like me, I'm here every day because, well, I have to be. And this is the best part of my day. I can't wait till, in local time here, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the longest wait for me. I mean, I'm ready to go at noon every day, but I have to give it more time for more viewers to be able to catch us. And 5 o'clock just seems to work for most people. Of course, I notice when I get off the air, about 20 minutes after I'm off, I get my titling done. I get a thumbnail made for this video. It becomes a regular video on my channel. And for the next 3 hours after I get off the air, it's sort of prime time. That's where most of my views come from during the day. Because in Eastern North America, it's now 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and that's where my view counts search. And then they start to peter off around 10, 11 o'clock Eastern, and then by midnight, things sort of settle down a ways and kind of stay steady overnight. But I get views from all over the place. I noticed today my UK viewers have almost caught my Canadian viewers in volume, which is shocking to me because I'm in Canada. I'm obviously the time difference is stunning. It's 6 hours to 9 hours different, depending on whether you're in the east part of Canada or western, even 6 to 10 hours. But I have quite a number of UK followers that are watching my channel, and I welcome you all. I say hi to all of you, of course. Thank you so much, and I love your country. Love visiting there. I really have not spent enough time in the UK, but I'd love to spend more. And also my folks, friends from down under, Australia. You're in fourth place. Is that right? Yeah, fourth place. And then from there, it's New Zealand and it's the Caribbean. A number of countries in the Caribbean. I have followers in the Cayman Islands, in the Bahamas, Bermuda. I've got followers from St. Thomas, from St Maarten, in particular, St Maarten. I think a lot of those folks were following me during the hurricane season. I was doing updates about the cruise lines and what was going on, and one storm after another, and some folks didn't have phones, but they were able to get on their internet somehow, and how they got me, I don't know how they were able to watch me, but yeah, from October, November, December, I had a lot of followers from the Caribbean following what I was talking about regarding the mess down there, and the disaster and the cleanup and the efforts to get supplies in. It was quite moving, and I felt humbled to, if I in any way can help anyone get him information when they really need it, I'm happy to do it. For you folks who are watching now, and for you folks who are watching tonight, I'll be reading the comments that are coming in from my live stream viewers here, because tonight or tomorrow, next week, you can't see the comments that are coming across here. So I'm reading them to you, and that's why I can give you sort of the play-by-play as to what's happening. And these folks here, a lot of these folks here, sometimes help me out with questions that some of you have. I'll get a question in here. I may not have the answer. One of these folks may. So it's kind of fun. We go back and forth, and we compare notes. So thanks for everyone for joining me. Just to double check here on the updates. I said hi to Peter. Charles is good. Sherman's back, and Sherman's saying my favorite cruise is a 7-day Carnival Breeze Caribbean. Great crew, great ship, and awesome ports. Jamaica, then Grand Cayman and Cozumel. How can you go wrong with those 3 stops? Sherman, that is guaranteed good weather. It's warm, a beautiful blue. That color of the water is so stunning. The white waves, the coral reefs, fantastic. Mary W.S. here. Hi, everyone. It's 40s today here in New Hampshire. A little cool there. Hi, Mary. Welcome back. Richard Koromaski just arrived. Hi, Bruce. Tip for the day. Princess has a $1 deposit for today only on a lot of cruises in the fall of 2018. Spring of 2019, so over that 6-month window, I guess. Booked. He said he booked New York to Quebec. $1 deposit. This is a sign of aggressive marketing. I got a message this morning also about MSC Seaside. The MSC people, they're on their homepage. Their MSC, North American Reservation homepage. They got a big thing there about the Seaside. Great deals for the Seaside. Well, yeah, you betcha they got good deals. They're trying to get people to come to that ship in March and April and May, and the deals are into the 600s for balconies. And I tell you, I'm sure that they thought that once they launched the ship and they were in the water, and after the inaugural cruise and all the positive reviews they've been getting and all the hype that they were generating, they figured they'd get $800-900 a week for a balcony. And surprise, surprise, North Americans are going, whoa, are you kidding me? Poop smell, lousy food, entertainment is nothing but opera. The service is so-so. Some people like the check-in experience, some hate it. There's problems with the departure when you want to go get off the ship and do your daily, excursion. Like say, come to a port of call. Jim Zim is talking about getting a porterhouse steak at the steakhouse on board. And he and his wife, by the time they got out of that restaurant, $107 is what the bill was. And he didn't like the steak. I'm like, geez, he didn't like it. And that they weren't counting on that. And a whole bunch of North Americans are going, maybe Europeans like this kind of service and this kind of food, but here in our town, where we're from, this ain't going to cut it, folks. It's not going to work. So, yeah, mid 600s for a balcony on the MSC Seaside, brand new $800 million vessel, and they're not selling it out. There's a rude awakening call that's happened to those guys. It'll be interesting to see how this sort of plays out as we kind of go forward here. Pamela saying, happy anniversary, Teresa. We're going out to dinner ourselves 31 years ago. Today we got married. Elizabeth saying, I love the breeze. We'll be going again in 2019. That's the Carnival Breeze, folks. Pamela's saying thank you. Teresa McFarlane, happy anniversary. Everyone's saying happy anniversary, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, and why not? It's a great day. Sherman's saying happy anniversary. Paula. George, favorite cruise or cruises, Mediterranean Sea with port calls, allowing for archaeological sites visit. Yes, sir. I'm right with you, buddy. That for me was the highlight of my cruise with my daughter. I did an 11-day cruise with her. It was a daddy-daughter holiday, and we started in Southampton. We ended up in Barcelona, and along the way, we were in Naples for a day, and we had a 3.5 hour tour in the afternoon that we had booked, taking us to Herculaneum. And we got to see the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Herculaneum, which is like Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius erupted in 76 AD, and Herculaneum, which was on the shore, the Mediterranean Sea, it was lapping right at its warehouses. It got covered in ash, and it was buried in over 100 feet of ash. And there was so much ash falling throughout that whole region that the shoreline was now 2 miles further out. It was all land, 70 feet up, and then tapering down to the sea 2 miles away. And that's where the Mediterranean Sea was then. So when the Romans from Rome heard about this disaster in Herculaneum, anyone who had relatives there, friends there, associates, they sent out search parties to see if they could bring them supplies and help these people. They went, they couldn't find it. They couldn't find Herculaneum because they were going along the shore, and they didn't realize that the town, the city of Herculaneum, is 2 miles inland under 100 plus feet of ash. And it took until the 1700s for Herculaneum to be discovered by accident when a farmer was trying to dig a well to find water for his cattle, for himself. And they were going down and down and down, and they came upon some construction. They came upon what wasn't supposed to be there. They came and they realized, going down the tunnel, they realized artifacts. They were finding artifacts. Well, now the scavengers were coming in, the looters were coming in. And when the king in the 1700s, Italy was ruled by monarchy. When the monarchy found out that the Herculaneum had been rediscovered, they immediately sent the troops out, and they stopped the looting on the spot. And the monarchy claimed ownership, which they rightly could. They claimed ownership to everything, and then organized digging was done, as organized as it could be in the 17 and 1800s, of course. And of course, now modern day, it's completely different. And Herculaneum has only been 1/3 exposed. 2/3 is still under the modern day city of Herculaneum, which is a bit of a problem because you've got to get people to sell their land and get them out, tear down the house that's on top or an apartment building, and then keep excavating. This is going to take a long, long time. Difference, though, is Pompeii is in ruins. I mean, really in ruins, because since it's been uncovered, there's been all kinds of weather damage and tourist damage and looting damage, and yet Herculaneum is in pristine condition because most of it was preserved. And today, it's guarded 24/7. And so, if you ever get the chance to go and see Herculaneum. Pompeii's okay, but go see Herculaneum to get a real feel for what this place looked like 2,000 years ago before the volcano blew. It's a fantastic place. I really appreciate you, George, mentioning that. That's brought back memories to me. Let me just check here and see what we got here. I've got to catch back up. Sorry for that, folks. Okay, so Sylvan is saying, Seaside, I saw balconies going for $559 this morning. And, Sylvan, you could well be right. I think this is a fluid situation here with Seaside. There may be a few cruises where, they're trying to desperately get people in those last 2-3 weeks, and they'll really blow them out. And they're trying to hold back. I still notice in like August, September, they're asking $1,000 a week. Good luck. August, September, $1,000? Are you kidding me? But yeah, they'll adjust prices as they go. This is going to change all the time. Teresa McFarland says, "Love the Mediterranean cruise. Been on two. It was our favorite, one of our favorite cruises. Our two favorite cruises." Charles Jordan is saying information about the Oasis. Says he saw a message on Shipmate Tuesday on Tuesday, the 13th, that one of the flow riders was down, and he said that there was a bad water leak in the windjammer, and it had been closed down. Isn't that interesting? You know, operational problems happen on every ship, and here we go with Oasis. Richard is saying Pompeii is also a must-see port of call when you do the med cruising. It's amazing. Donna, a mankind is here. Hey, Mankinnon. Donna Mankinnon is here. Hi, Donna. I'm working on it. It's 43 here in Beloit today. That's Beloit, Wisconsin for you folks. I remember from yesterday, I have only cruised the Caribbean 8 times on Carnival, always the last week of January. Deals, 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 deals. Great weather, getaway, holidays been had, Christmas is over, New Year's is over. Now it's your turn to get a break. Oh, yes. Good plan, Donna. Charles Jordan, I had a question Sunday because I noticed that a crane was next to the Oasis, and people working in the area of the snow of the flow rider. So they were obviously working on it when you saw it. I see what you're saying. So my question today on my headline, on my title of this live stream was, what's the favorite cruise region for you? And really, you can answer whatever you want. I put in on the title, I put in Alaska, the Caribbean, Mediterranean. What would be your favorite? You can tell me what out of those three if you want, or just tell us what region would you really like to take a cruise into, or have you? Either way, you've been to one that you just fell in love with, or you've always wanted to do one you haven't yet been able to do, or it's on your bucket list. Open it up and let us know what your thoughts are on that, and we'll share that with everybody. I've done the Mexican Riviera cruise. I've done the Caribbean cruise a couple of times for each of them actually, and then I did this Mediterranean cruise with my daughter. And I'll tell you, if you've never cruised before and you've never been to Europe before, if you really haven't been to Europe, other than maybe you've been to London, you've been to England because they speak English there, but you really haven't been on the continent where all the languages are and all the customs. I'll tell you, one easy way to enjoy a taste of Europe, a lovely little buffet of Europe, a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, a little of that. Take a Mediterranean cruise, whether it's a 1-week cruise or whether it's a 10-day or a 2-week cruise. Man, I'll tell you, even a repositioning cruise from the U.S., that makes its way to Rome, might have 4 or 5 stops in in Portugal, Spain, maybe France, Italy before it gets to Rome. Finally, you get a few stops in. But boy, if you can take one of those cruises for a week or 10 days, and you can get Monte Carlo, Monaco, you can get Italy in with a couple of stops, France, Spain, and Portugal, perhaps Malta. Sicily, of course, up to Venice, and then along the Croatian coast, coming down there through Split. Boy, you'll get culture. You'll be all cultured up. You're going to say to yourself, "Geez, I should have paid attention in high school when the teacher was talking about all these countries. Why was I? Well, I know why. You're looking at that guy or you're looking at that girl, and you weren't thinking about culture in Europe. You're thinking about something else." But now that you're all grown up and you're all mature now, here's your chance to re-educate yourself all about Europe and see it today from the comfort of a cruise ship that accepts American currency without any trouble whatsoever. They have ATM machines on board if you need euros. Don't worry about it. They got the casino on board in the evening. Everything's in English, especially if you're on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship or a Norwegian cruise ship, a Carnival cruise ship. It's all English. And it's just like being at home, American style food and buffet with the regional. They'll have Italian night. They'll have French. Oh yeah. So they'll have all of that, but you can always get the die-hard meat and potatoes if you need it. And boy, I'll tell you, I loved my cruise in the Mediterranean. Every day, woke up. Where are we now? This is fantastic. Getting off the ship with my daughter and just walking around for a few hours, take a quick cab ride into whatever, or take the transit or do a tour. We did the Rome tour. That was a full 8-hour day, and I loved it. I it cost us maybe 150, 200 bucks. Don't care. I don't care. I paid it. It was the bus ride in. It was the bus ride back. It was lunch provided at a local restaurant. We did the Coliseum and that around that area in the morning. Saw church first, then the Coliseum. Then we did the Vatican in the afternoon, and I had no worries. It was stress-free for this guy. My daughter and I could spend our time and our energies on looking at what we were supposed to be looking at. And I didn't have to worry about this. There was no watch on my wrist. I just watched the tour guide. They were telling us when it was time to go. They had to get us back to the ship on time. And on the bus ride back, I was so giddy being in Italy. I'm looking out the window just like a kid. My daughter's asleep. She's napping out, having a power nap on the way back. I'm just all of, Tuscany farms. Well, that's what a truck looks like in Italy. I loved it. I just it was fantastic. And the next day was Florence and Pisa, another 8-hour tour, with the bus ride, 2 stops, lunch included, all in the deal, and English-speaking guides. And ask us any question you want. You can't stump us because they're history majors. These kids are history majors, English majors, and this is what they live for. They're looking for the engagement. They're looking for the back and forth. So Florence was fantastic, and so much to learn, so much to see. You're only there for 3-4 hours. You're not getting bored if you think you're getting bored. Not a chance. And then it's lunch, and then off to Pisa. It's 2 hours. It's enough. Leaning Tower, not much else to see in Leaning Tower, Pisa. Really, I was just more fascinated by all the trinket salespeople in Leaning Tower, Pisa. Anyone experience that? How many hundreds of hawkers there were trying to flog mini Leaning Tower of Pisas made in China, and keychains and fridge magnets and T-shirts and gaudy beer steins. And I was looking for the Elvis felt paintings standing beside Pisa. They didn't have Elvis. They just didn't get the message that North Americans are coming. But it was a great time. Anyway, that's a great way to see Europe if you ever get the chance. It's a fantastic way to go. Let me just check on my messages now to make sure I'm caught up here. Richard Kormaski was saying Mediterranean ship stops right at the town centers. You can get off and explore without a tour of the ship. Just love it. Exactly. I did that in Malaga. My daughter and I, we did that in Gibraltar, Rock of Gibraltar. We just walked the town. Loved it. Fantastic. Paula K. Caribbean will always be favorite, but Sylvan Forrest saying repositioning cruises are my favorite. Best of all, 21 days from Fort Lauderdale to Brazil, over to Senegal, Morocco, Gibraltar, Barcelona, the Roman port, which is Civitavecchia. It's the Rome port on the Grand Princess. Yes, sir. 21 days, 3 weeks at a killer price. And man, if you saw a good chunk of the planet. Fantastic, man. You can't beat that deal. Paula K. Mediterranean is on the list. Yes. Scott Batchley saying Love Alaska. Been 4 times. Headed back in September on the new Bliss for number 5. Would love to do the Mediterranean and Panama Canal. Me too. The Panama Canal. I'd like to do that. Kind of like to say I did it. Teresa McFarland, on my bucket list is to do Ireland, Scotland cruise. Probably going to Hawaii next year for our 25th anniversary. And, Ireland and Scotland, you might have to do like a regional P&O cruise from Europe. The Carnival line and Royal Caribbean line, they have subsidiary lines over there that they own and operate. So you may want to look for that. But yeah, that would be nice. Teresa McFarland is saying Panama Canal is a wonderful cruise, Scott. She's saying. Charlie Baum, hey, Bruce. I went on a repositioning cruise from Baltimore to Port Canaveral in 2013 for my 70th birthday. Pianist was great. Have a dark and stormy. Well, I tell you, if you can leave from Baltimore, if that's your hometown, how handy is that? It's fantastic. Not too many cruises out of Baltimore, but occasional. Wes Morrison saying, my bucket list is to take a cruise of the British Isles, Scotland, Ireland, Great Britain. Yes, a number of people would like to do that. I think I'd like to take one of those cruises in Sweden and Norway, where you're going sort of from Sweden to Norway, Finland, and back in the summertime. I'd like to see that area. It's some of the videos I've seen on YouTube are fantastic, just wonderful looking looking excursions and day trips. Teresa McFarland saying booked private tours when we were on our Italy cruise. I'd highly recommend it. She says the tour company was called Rome in a limo. Rome in a limo, and this is something you can arrange anywhere you cruise, of course. Now that we have the internet at our beck and call, and everything on our handhelds as well, before you get on your cruise, you can do your homework and figure out, wow, if we're going to be in Rome for the day, why don't we just get picked up at the ship by a limo, and let's get a tour of Tuscany, and maybe head through Rome. And we got all day. We're like 10 hours. We're here from like 9 and 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Let's do a tour. Just be careful that that limo doesn't break down. It's not a 25-year-old limo when you get into it. It's running well, and the driver knows what they're doing, and this kind of thing. But if you're finding a tour company by recommendation, others have done it, and they're telling you this is primo, you may find that you get such a deal booking it yourself without the markup that the cruise line is charging you. It's a great deal, great way to go. And you can do that in Naples, you can do that in Palermo and Sicily. I'm sure you can do it for the Florence and Pisa part of it. If you're ever in Genoa or those areas, that'd be fantastic. That's a good suggestion there, Teresa. I like that. Richard Kormaski saying spent a week in Rome prior to a 24-day repositioning cruise back to Fort Lauderdale. Had a great tour. 2 days for looks like a few days for just my family at the Colosseum, the Forum, and Vatican for like $400 total. It was like getting a degree in archaeology. Yeah, this is really something. I read something a long time ago, a few years ago. I was reading about how at one time in about the 1700s, Rome had about 30,000 people living there. Rome was a abandoned city at one point. At the height of the Roman Empire, 1 million plus people lived in Rome all the time. And by the time the Middle Ages came and the 1700s, 30-odd thousand maybe lived there. And then in the 1800s, Rome was discovered as a tourist stop by well-to-do European aristocrats or European tourists. And when the rails started to get built, rail lines started to connect into Rome. And then, of course, Italy became a country as these little fiefdoms sort of merged together to form one complete country. And then Rome became, of course, the capital that it is today. Fantastic. Richard Kormaski saying, founder on tours by locals. Great stuff for that local tourist. Richard's also saying train transit was so easy in Italy and everyone spoke English. Yeah. Folks, another thing to understand about Europe is they got it together. Europe has its act together. They've just been around a little longer than we have. We're kids. United States, Canada. Good Lord, they've got what have they got? They got coffee shops that have been open longer than the United States has been in existence. Okay, and Canada and Mexico. I mean, Europe has just been around thousands of years, and Europeans are used to the fact that they're surrounded by other Europeans, and Europeans know if you're in France, over here is Spain and Portugal, and over here is Germany and Austria and Switzerland. They're surrounded by foreigners all around. You draw a 100-mile circle around any place, practically any place in Europe, you're going to hit another country. We're here in North America and Canada. We're so what's the word I'm looking for? We're so paranoid of foreigners, which is so silly. We need foreigners in every respect. We need the culture, the food. We love their cars. We love the music. And in Europe, it's just no big deal. So to travel for a 3-week holiday by camper in Europe through 4 or 5 countries, no big deal. But by train travel, oh my goodness, have they got their act together on the infrastructure for rail. And Europeans do not take kindly to crap rail service. They will not talk. They will vote out politicians that will allow a national train company to run late or have deficiencies. In this country, Canada, we don't care. We almost don't have rail anymore. Where I live in Creston, this wouldn't be here. Where I am, this town wouldn't be here without the railroad that was built after the Transcontinental Railroad was built across Canada and completed in 1885. The United States, you completed your national internet transcontinental railway, I think 10 years before ours. The great part of the United States wouldn't be what it is today without the rails. Where today, the only thing Americans and Canadians really care about with respect to rail travel is to get my goods to where I want them to go. And the reason is we don't insist on rail travel equal to the Europeans. We find excuses to not do it. We find, well, we can fly cheaper, or, well, I'd rather drive because we have highways. Well, have you been on a highway lately across North America? In certain sections of North America, highways are undrivable. They're going to break your car. You're not going to get 100,000 miles out of your car in a lot of highways in the United States. The highway will chew the car up. It's incredible. In Europe, highways are, of course, top notch. Try driving the Autobahn in Germany and find a crack. I dare you, find a crack on the highway. You can't find a crack. Pothole, they don't know what that is. But rail travel, oh my goodness, get a Eurail pass in Europe for a month, a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, unlimited travel, or say a 60-day time frame. You can travel 15 days on the rails anywhere you want to go for a flat fee. And if you break the math down, you do the mathematics, if you can work it out that every time you take a train, it's say 3 or 4 hours for 15 times over 2 months, 3 months, you're paying like $50 a trip a person. First class, high-speed rail, where your beer or your coffee or your soda will just sit on the table. You're going 200 plus miles an hour, and your cola is just the glass isn't even shimmering. It's not even twitching. That's rail service. That's what the Europeans insist on. You don't deliver that, government's out. President out. Everybody out. Next guy. No politician has the guts to ever cut back on infrastructure. Not a chance. These guys would be eliminated. It'd be put up for treason. Not a chance. Totally different in our country because we don't want to pay for it. We want someone else to pay for it, and yet we want it, but So it's an interesting thing. So if you get the chance to do Europe with a rail pass, oh, have you got a holiday in store? You're going to be downtown to downtown with your rail pass, which means you can walk to your hotel. You don't even need a cab. Just have wheels on your suitcase, and easy travel or what? Oh, you're gonna love it. That's absolutely something. It's too bad we don't have it. We just don't have it. That's my little rant today about railroads. I hope I'm not making anybody mad out there. Okay, where am I now? Let's see. Yeah, train transit was easy, Richard said. Teresa saying the companies used in all of Italy, they use a Mercedes van, 8 to a van. This is the tour company that she's talking about. All-day tours for about $100 a person. Deal. That's a deal. Cruise ships are up to 200. Sylvan is saying train transit in Europe is not the nightmare it is here in North America. How many people will die on Amtrak this year? Every week, every 2 weeks, another month, another 2 Americans killed or however many injured. What's going on? This is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable in 2018. I can't believe it. What did you guys fight the wars for? Won the wars. We got the boys home in the Second World War, and we had all this time and money and energy and steel plants, and we could build railways, and we had the technology, and we got nothing. We got crap. It's unbelievable. It blows my mind. Now I will say in the northeastern U.S. and in eastern Canada there are passenger rails. Okay, I get that. And there's Amtrak in selected parts of the United States, of course. But out here in the West, there's no rail. You can't take a daily train from Vancouver across Canada. Can't do it. It doesn't exist. Taxpayers, the government stopped paying for it. And no political party has jumped on the bandwagon to make this a possibility. And so it's not a political issue right now. But if you can fly on an airplane where you get squeezed in like a sardine and you're prepared to tolerate getting treated like crap, getting charged up the wazoo for every little thing, and you're prepared to take it, and then you go from one side of the country to the other, and you get off the plane, and you try to stretch out. If that's what you're happy with, then that's what you're going to get. But the day voters decide enough's enough, I want what the Europeans have, then things will change. I don't know. I don't think it's in my lifetime. Sorry to say. Richard's saying, when in Italy, Lunch is a 2 to 3 hour activity outside. It was great. Everyone should go, and it's not too expensive. No, that's right. There are middle class Europeans. There are lower middle class Europeans, and they have a 2 hour lunch as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Train travel, anyone can afford train travel in Europe. Anyone, students, uh, professionals, seniors, families. It's very affordable. It's cheaper than driving a car, actually. Sherman is saying closest I've been to Italy is a toga party in college. Now I want to go for coffee. Thank you, Sherman. Oh man, Teresa's saying limoncello. Richard's going. However, in Italy, there's a lot of pickpocketing and nurse snatching. Saw that. Yes, if you're going to hang out around the Colosseum and in other, the Trevi Fountain and all these spots, the pros are waiting for you. They're also in New York. They're in downtown Manhattan, folks. There are pickpockets everywhere. There are tourists, and they're pros, and they work in gangs. And you can see YouTube videos about them. You'll see a surveillance video that police have released over the years. Pickpockets are everywhere. Pickpockets are in your hometown when you least expect it, because that's when they pick you, when you least expect it. So just use common sense and don't carry 10 grand cash to the Roman Colosseum when you go visit the Roman Colosseum. You don't need it. Sylvan Forrest, Bruce for Prime Minister. Oh, yeah, that's all I need. Sure, yeah. Try to get a politician to vote for a rail line. Omar's here. Omar Clark. Bruce, I'm new. Subscribe. Which Caribbean cruise would you recommend for my family of 4? My children are 9 and 13. Omar, I'm going to tell you right now, you've got a lot of choices. But I'm going to tell you that you want to pick right, and you want a guaranteed home run, and you want to be the hero of all time with a 13 and a 9-year-old, Disney. Disney cruise. You can't lose on a Disney cruise. You can't. You'll spend a lot of money. It's not cheap. I didn't say it was cheap. But, that would be a winner for you and those 2 kids at that age. The number 2 line I would recommend you strongly consider, take a cruise with Royal Caribbean and grab the Harmony of the Seas or the Oasis or the Allure of the Seas. You're going to love that ship because the kids are going to be all day on the water rides, the wave riding machine, the rock climbing wall, the slides, the zip lines. They're going to love it. You and your missus are going to really enjoy the fact that when you get the Labadee in Haiti, you're going to the private beach that they have. The kids are going to be on the rides, and you and your wife can enjoy the beach and have a cabana and relax. So those are an easy 2 to pick from right there. Royal Caribbean and the Disney company. The Disney company will be a lot of fun for the kids, a lot of action, all the characters are there, of course. And then for you guys, you'll be treated royally because Disney is a 5-star line. It's really nice, and you'll enjoy it. If it was just you and your wife getting away, just the 2 of you, then I'd be recommending Holland America out of Miami or out of Fort Lauderdale or Celebrity, and you get a little quiet time, and you'll be given 5-star everything at a really good price. And so there's a few options for you, Omar. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for subscribing. It's great to have you. Anyone else, please join. It's the kind of people we're looking for. It's fantastic. Elizabeth is saying, Grand Cayman for your children, Omar. Stingray City did the turtle farm. Yes, Elizabeth's right. And you can do Stingray City. You can do Grand Cayman on a Holland America cruise. Even Disney comes to Grand Cayman. So check the Disney cruises and see if they have a stop in Grand Cayman. And that's the one you want to book. That way you get Grand Cayman and the Disney line, or all Royal Caribbean and Cayman thrown in there. Great island to visit. I used to live there. It's fantastic. Sherman Mercer, Elizabeth, those excursions will make Omar Dad of the Year. Great experience. Oh, yeah, Omar will be a god. They'll bow to him because you can't go wrong with these picks. You just can't. All you folks out there, you want to get away for a Caribbean, a little holiday, and the pressure's on you to to book it, and you better be right because if you don't pick right, you're in big trouble. Just relax. And just figure out the age of everybody and what their activity levels are. But a Caribbean cruise, there's a reason the Caribbean cruises are so popular. They're the world's biggest cruise destination. on the planet. More cruisers head for the Caribbean all year long, summertime, winter particular, for a good reason. It's a great stops along the way. You'll love it. Even as commercialized as it's getting, still great. It's fantastic. Um, okay, we have a Lamarquipu Silvers is here. How you doing? Alaska, Europe are favorites, he's saying. Took a repositioning cruise in November from Rome to Puerto Rico. Going through the Strait of Gibraltar was one of those most amazing times ever. Chicago says hi. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Straits of Gibraltar. Wow. Yeah, there's so much history there. I mean, it's just, mankind's history. So much of it is tied up in that region there. Unbelievable. That is a great cruise. And oh yeah, you've got a great price, great itinerary, and yeah, can't go wrong with that, my friend. Elizabeth Green saying Disney's prices just raised up again to $103 a day. It's really not a fun time at all. Maybe Disney cruise, but not Disney World. Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, Elizabeth. We were comparing notes. I had viewers yesterday telling me in '68 they paid $10 to get in, and in the '70s it was $15 or $20. Yeah, now these park passes and these daily admission fees out of this world, just unthinkable. But I'll tell you, 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this $103 price, and we're going, oh my God, now it's 150. It's not going to go down. It's unbelievable. Omar saying, thanks, Sherman. Sherman Mercer, anyone been through the Panama Canal? Teresa saying, I have, Sherman. It was a wonderful experience. Sylvan Forrest saying, did Panama Canal with Legend of the Seas? Absolutely wonderful. Usually the cruises, there's two kinds of Panama cruises that we hear about or see for sale. The one that we see is the so-called 10-day Panama Canal cruise. That'll be sort of Miami through the Caribbean over to the Panama Canal, but not through it. You'll go part of the way, and then you'll turn around and come back. And then you'll have the other kind of Panama cruise that's usually it's 14 days. Occasionally it's 12, but usually 14, 15 days. And it could be much longer if you're going, say, Miami all the way to Seattle or Vancouver. But over a 2-week period, you're going through the canal. So either from east to west or west to east. And there are occasions where you can do a back-to-back. You can start in Miami, go to LA, and then come from LA and go back to Miami. And that's 4 weeks of cruising. You may have different stops on each side of the route, or you may be in exactly the same ports. Just get to visit them twice. But the Panama Canal is one of those sites to see and enjoy. And yeah, it's a popular cruise. There's no question about it. Well worth your while if you can get a deal on it. And this is the problem lately. 10 years ago, before all the mergers happened in the cruise business, there was a lot more competition between these cruise lines for passengers, even on the Panama Canal cruise. Today, Carnival owns Holland America. Carnival owns Princess Cruises. Royal Caribbean owns Celebrity. So there's no way a Royal Celebrity is going to compete with the Royal Caribbean for passengers through the Panama Canal. They're going to stagger the departures by at least a week so that the two ships don't compete. And on the Carnival side, you're not going to find Holland America, Princess, and Carnival all trying to make a deal for you to go through the Panama Canal. Not going to happen. Each ship will be staggered at least a week or so apart, and there's no direct competition. That's the deal now with these lines. Now, if MSC Seaside or MSC Cruises, they are going to add more ships to North America. They're coming. They'll figure out their problems, hopefully get it resolved. But if they have 5 or 6 ships in the North American area, and one of them does the Panama Canal, well, that's a direct competitor to the Carnival family, to the Royal Caribbean family, to the Norwegian family. All of a sudden, there's a 4th player in town. Now maybe we'll see some pricing capacity. But again, it all depends on the sailing dates and when these ships choose to do it. They're not going to go at each other if they don't have to. If Carnival has just adjusted schedule by 1 day and depart 1 day earlier or 1 day later next year to avoid the MSC ship or the other way around, they'll do that because these guys are so sharp in marketing that until there are 25 cruise lines battling it out, there won't be those cutthroat deals, which we used to see. We used to see deals through the Panama Canal for $500. Can't find a $500 cruise through the Panama Canal anymore. Not even close. Let's see here what we got here. Richard Kormaski saying, did the old Panama Canal, it was a great 10-day Fort Lauderdale and back, going through the new canal in 10 days. Great stops, Costa Rica, Colombia, Grand Cayman, just great. That's going to be fantastic. Sherman saying, thanks, guys, planning now. George McCrower saying, many 10-day and through Panama Canal cruises out of Fort Lauderdale, not just Miami. Now I can now select cruises through old docks or old locks or new locks. Definitely different engineering. Yeah, definitely. Things have, that's a whole new world down there, and the traffic dictates it that they had to do this to handle the flow. It's really amazing. Yeah, that would be really something to do that cruise. I came up with some stats today that I thought I'd bring by, throw at you guys. I read today about how, and I mentioned this a bit earlier today, about the hurricanes in the Caribbean. You know how devastated Puerto Rico was, and still recovering to this day. How badly damaged St Maarten, St Thomas, Dominica, Turks and Caicos a little bit. St Bart's really badly damaged. A lot of these places were badly hurt, and they could not accept cruise ships for quite some time. They had to give up ports of visits from cruise ships for September, October, November, most of December, and only now in January and February are these island nations coming back to where they can accept cruise ship passengers because they've rebuilt their piers, repaired the damage. On land, they've got their power back up, they've got the sewers working again. They've replaced roads and highways that were washed out and put in new roads and highways so that the tour buses can go from one side of an island to another. All of these fishing boats that are doing these charters, they were decimated. All these boats were destroyed if they didn't get them out of there in time. And so they've been replaced or been coming back and this type of thing. So I wanted to mention to you folks today, how important is it for some of these nations to have cruisers? To give you an idea, for every one person that lives full-time in St. Maarten on a regular year, 41.6 passengers come and visit the island from a cruise ship. So it's 41 to 1. That's how many more passengers arrive. And that for St. Maarten is 1.66 million passengers a year. So you take 1.6 million passengers, and the average drop can be anywhere from $30 to $40 a person, depending on whether they're doing a charter, like a ship charter thing. That might be $200 or $300 each. Just hanging out at the beach, grabbing one of those loungers, one for you, one for your travel companion, the umbrella up top, a bucket of beer. You're dropping 20, 25, 30 bucks. And then maybe you'll order a snack that they're barbecuing over here, another 10, 15 bucks. You drop $50. Well, this is huge for St. Maarten. 1.6 million of them coming in with those American dollars. That is big money and a lot of jobs and spin-off jobs. The Cayman Islands is number 2. 27 to 1 is the ratio. We're talking about going to Stingray City and seeing the turtle farm and getting a tour to the botanical gardens or whatever you want to do on the Caymans. 27 cruise ship passengers visit for every one resident of the Cayman Islands. They're overrun, and it's not uncommon right now. 5, 6, 7 ships in one day will park half a mile off the shore and tender in 20,000 passengers on the island for the day. That's unbelievable. The island has 35,000 residents. It's insane. So that's a real amazing number. That's 1.7 million tourists a year. Cayman's absolutely. You think they are an offshore banking center, and they're the 4th largest offshore banking center in the planet. Every country's bank. Every country has its bank there. The top banks of Canada all have branches there. Americans do, Europeans, everybody. But all the money they make doing that, and all the money they make with insurance and legal fees and accounting fees and all that, it's nice. But those 1.7 million tourists that come in for 6 hours a day, Monday through Saturday at least, I don't know if they do them Sundays anymore, they drop a lot of cash and fast, and they don't vote, and they leave. You still have hundreds of thousands of people that fly in and spend a week or two at a time, either in their condos or spend 6 months of the folks winter there. They'll spend 4, 5, 6 months wintering in the Caymans in their house or their condo. But then there are a lot of folks who are coming in just for the Ritz-Carlton. Yes, there's a Ritz-Carlton in the Cayman Islands. The Westin, all these high-end brands are there, and it's $500 a night, $600 a night. No vacancy, folks. No vacancy in January, February, March. It's hard to get a room. It's that good. So a lot of money coming in, but cruise ship, big money from cruise ship. Turks and Caicos, number 3, 24 to 1. 800,000 visitors, not near as many. And then the British Virgin Islands, 22 to 1 at 700,000 visitors. U.S. Virgin Islands, that's St. Thomas, St. Croix, 17 to 1 is the ratio, 1.7 million. And then St. Kitts and Nevis, 16 to 1, 900,000 people, showing you how many people are coming in. These are all, I've just mentioned here, these are all, of course, Caribbean stops, millions of tourists coming into the Caribbean area, coming to visit. The top 5 most visited countries in the world for cruise shippers, number 1 is Mexico, 6.7 million. Makes sense. They're visiting on the West Coast, and they're visiting on the East Coast. And the Bahamas, 4.7 million, 45 minutes by air out of Miami. Then you've got Greece at 3.3 million, Spain at 3 million, and surprise to me, South Korea, 2.2 million visitors a year into South Korea. That's surprising. That's obviously from Taiwan, from China, from Japan. Quite interesting that they attract that many tourists. They're number 5. Now, I did not mention Italy because stats for Italy are unreliable, but I'm going to guess that Italy and Spain are going to be in the neighborhood with Greece, 3 odd million, easily, because Italy has got Venice on the one side, Rome on the other, Sicily. Beautiful, just beautiful. It goes to show you how many folks visit some of these places. Quite amazing. Omar is saying, Bruce, how soon will be the best time to book a cruise and get a deal, and how late before a cruise, or what time of the year is best time of the year to book a Caribbean cruise? Well, Omar, the cheapest time of the year, there's kind of 2 for the Caribbean. The first one is just when all of these ships are coming back from the Mediterranean, from Alaska, and from Northern Europe, and that is sort of October and November. I had a viewer the other day tell me that the week before U.S. Thanksgiving, the week after U.S. Thanksgiving, most of December except Christmas week, and then most of January, those are the best times to get the best deals on Caribbean cruises. But I will say this, go to vacationstogo.com. That's the website I like to use the most. It's the easiest for me to use. Vacationstogo.com. I have a video, by the way, Omar. If you want to know how to book a cheap cruise, just go to my channel, find my playlists. You'll find getting a cruise deal. You'll find that video, and I literally show you how to use the computer. I mean, I hold my phone in my hand like this, and I'm in front of the screen, and I'm typing away, and I'm showing you what I'm doing. I mean, this is really primitive way of doing it rather than putting it on a screen thing, because I'd rather just hold it in my hand and then zoom in with it to show you. That's what I'm pointing at. Here's where I'm pointing at. Anyway, I show you how to use the Vacations to Go website. It's easy. If I can use it, anybody can use it. And you'll be able to find Disney cruises, just Disney, or you'll be able to find Royal Caribbean only, or Caribbean only area, 7-day cruises, 14-day cruises, 8 to 13 days. You'll have fun playing with that website, and you'll be able to zero it in to whatever it is you want to find. And you may find that coming up right now, here in February, March, April, they may still be deals available to you. Disney goes all year. Disney sails 52 weeks of the year. They can't take a week off. And you may find that you can find a nice deal in May. You might not. It all depends on what your tolerance level is. When do you want to go? What kind of heat will you take? What kind of heat won't you take? And if you're set on a winter cruise, I get it, of course. So look at like November, December, January as a economic, much more economical, generally speaking. Anyway, so that's an idea for you. Let me see here if we got anybody else. Just double check here. kind of hit my button here and lost a few folks. Here we go. Richard saying Puerto Rico lost a major transformer site 2 days ago and are without power. Yeah, big chunk of the island again. I wouldn't want to start or end a cruise there for quite a while until power is stable. I agree, Richard. I tell you, I would, like with Omar, for Omar, do not, and I repeat, do not take a cruise in the Caribbean that starts or ends in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Don't do it. The problem is that the price is right. The cruise's price is great with the cruise line. They're desperate. The problem actually is getting in and getting out. The airport in San Juan is still being held together by duct tape. They're spending millions to get it running. The problem is the electrical issue in San Juan is a problem. And maybe the airport is okay from a power point of view. They got generators as backups and all this. But the real problem is if you're going to take a cruise that leaves San Juan, Puerto Rico, you really should be flying in at least 1 day early, at least. But with the way the island is now, you may want to fly in 2 or 3 days early to be sure you're there. Because the day of the cruise, it's a crapshoot. You might not get there. The other problem, though, is even if you get there the day before or 2 days before, with the power outages they're having, you may be in a hotel that the generators are taking over for the power company, and then the generator breaks down. And now you have no power, no air conditioning, no restaurant open, no television, no hot water. I mean, it's a third world country. Many, many ways, this has become a third world country, despite what Washington says and how great FEMA says everything's going. It is a disaster. I'd wait at least a year before I'd think about San Juan, because we're only, 6 months away, 7 months away from hurricane season again. And what if they get hit again? They haven't fixed the first one's problems. They might get whacked again. And now it's another year of turmoil. So I would avoid Puerto Rico. It's okay to visit it. It's all right if you're getting in Miami, getting on a ship there, and it stops in San Juan for the day. That's okay. You'll be in Old Town San Juan. You'll be fine. But you don't want to start or end a cruise in San Juan. You might not get out for a day or 2 or 3, and then you need a hotel now. You may not find one with power. It's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. Teresa saying we have to stop there next week. Teresa, you have nothing to worry about. Like I just said, you're just a day visitor. You'll be fine. You don't have to deal with those issues. Old Town San Juan has all kinds of shops downtown with their own generators. They've got their even the Starbucks. They'll be open for you. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Mark the Lost Traveler's here. Hello, everybody. Just came in to say hello. Heading over to Port Canaveral for seafood. It's 72 degrees and partly cloudy. 11 days left until Norwegian getaway. I'll watch the rerun. Bye. Got to run. Bye-bye. Thanks, Mark. Goodbye, Mark. Fantastic. Teresa, hi, bye. Omar saying thanks, Bruce. Elizabeth Bream saying, where are you going? Mark, where are you going? Mary Dubia, I'm cruising from San Juan the end of April. Mary, I had to tell you this. I have to say, so just, let us know when it's all over. Let us know how it went. And I hope for you it went smoothly. I really do. There have been a lot of cruises out of San Juan. I mean, it's not like the cruise lines haven't been there. They've been operating now for 2 months out of San Juan. But I heard nightmare stories from Canadians who couldn't get a flight out, couldn't get, they had booked a flight, a return flight to go home. The airline didn't tell them that, we canceled all our flights for the winter. Sorry. You got there? That's great. There's no flights out. Now they have to book a flight today out of San Juan. Can you imagine? We're talking $2,000 a person to get to North America. It's a ripoff. It's ridiculous. There's nightmare stories. Just nightmare. Anyway, I'm praying you're going to be okay. I'm praying you're going to be okay. Mark, the Found Traveler, is saying your subscribers must be piling up. I just had to watch a 30-second commercial before tuning into your show. They're not piling up. They're kind of stalling. We're at 760 something. We're 240 short of 1,000. I don't think we're going to make it. We're getting subscribers every day, 10, 15, 20, but I don't think we're going to get to 1,000 in time. But that commercial is the commercial. Yeah, it's there. Mark Lost Traveler, Honduras, Belize, Costa Maya, Mexico, Cozumel. He can't wait for his cruise. Mark Lost Traveler saying, see ya, he's out of here. and he's off to his restaurant. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem in the San Juan, Puerto Rico thing, and of course the rest of the island. Oh, what a disaster! I know they've made a lot of progress. There's been a lot of rebuilding going on. You notice, folks, we don't get daily updates anymore from the media. There's nobody down there. Those ratings are over. They had their disaster crews down there. They had their CNN people, the MSNBC people, the CBS people. They're all there. They're all gone now. And all we're getting now are sporadic reports and the odd headline, as we heard here about this transformer fire, and the continuing mess. And it is a continuing mess because the system was a basket case before the hurricanes arrived. The power grid in San Juan or in Puerto Rico as a whole was already unreliable as it was. That's why there are generators everywhere now. Every hospital has a generator, and they have 2,000-gallon tanks holding the fuel beside the generator, and they're being fueled up every 3 or 4 days with another 2,000 gallons of diesel to keep the generator running, to keep the electricity on. And I just cringe at the thought that someone needs an emergency operation and needs to be kept on life support, which is all electrical, for like a week. It's a mess. It's unacceptable. It's the United States of America. This is America. What's going on? We know what's going on. There's something going on. Richard, good luck, Mary. I would change the start and end port if you can, but if you're booked in, you're booked in. And if you're getting there early and you can stay a day or two later, great. But if you've got the day of flights, we're crossing our fingers. I hope it's okay. Richard saying evening news shows Puerto Ricans are demonstrating because the U.S. federal housing vouchers are expiring this week, and they will have to start paying their own hotel rooms for displaced islanders. Yeah, the housing hasn't been repaired. 80 to 90% of the homes were destroyed or badly damaged on the island. It took them a month to get basic supplies in. Who's to say that there are supplies on the island now to rebuild homes? How's that going to happen? People probably got checks for disaster and for some rebuilding funds, I guess. But good luck hiring anybody. And if the contractor is using a saw or a electrical drill to rebuild your house, and there's no power, how are they going to rebuild your house without power? By hand? We're talking 3.5 million people on an island that's about 100 miles across, and time, there isn't enough time. If FEMA says it's got to be done in 4 months, 5 months, good luck. You might do that in Houston, but I know in Houston they haven't got the rebuilding all done, and they got everything in Houston, including people with money. It still isn't done. And Puerto Rico, it's a 2-year rebuild. It's a 2-year rebuild, and then it's complete reorganization of the debts that the territory has. Nobody wants to step up. It's politically not, there's no payoff. Why would a senator give a crap to risk his neck if he's from Missouri to help the folks in Puerto Rico? He's not going to get reelected from his constituents. As a matter of fact, he's probably got constituents saying, well, what about our hometown? Well, stop looking after those guys. You're elected from here. Well, yeah, there you go. It's no incentive to make it better. No one fears failure in Puerto Rico on the mainland. Not enough fear on the mainland. It's really sad, isn't it? Doesn't look good internationally, does it? Mary W. saying, we are flying in the day before. Always do that no matter where I cruise from. Mary, your odds just went up. Your odds went way up that you're going to make your cruise. And then coming home, you should be all right. But yeah, this is a crapshoot, a real crapshoot for anyone doing a cruise in that area. Anyway, I hope I haven't scared anybody off of Caribbean. The Caribbean area, as I say, is the #1 favorite cruise destination of most people in the world because there are so many countries and islands to visit. You can take 5 Caribbean cruises, and you might only overlap one port here, maybe one port there, and the rest are all new. You've never been to them before. Then you've got the southern, South America area to explore, and now you have cruise ships, smaller sized cruise ships that can go up the Amazon and they can go in the Amazon up 500-600 miles into the Amazon River, and you can see that area. My goodness, that's a whole different place to explore. And of course, going forward, we have cruise lines that are now coming out with exotic boutique cruise ships that are icebreakers, that are designed to travel to the Antarctica or to the Arctic. They can handle ice flows. We've got luxury cruise ships with helicopters on board, with submarines on board, to give you those type excursions that you're never going to get in Europe or in the Caribbean. It's unbelievable. I see a future not too far from now where we'll be able to book a 2-week cruise in the Caribbean, maybe, or certainly now in Europe, where we can get on a ship in, say, Barcelona, and it's a 2-week cruise, and they only have 7 stops, because each stop is a 2-night stop. You'll spend 2 nights in Athens. You'll spend 2 nights in Istanbul. You'll spend 2 nights just outside of Venice or outside of Rome, and you'll have your hotel right there, and then you can go in to the city for a day and a half and enjoy, and then come back, spend each night in your hotel and on shore on the ship, and then move to the next location. Monte Carlo with the Grand Prix. They're already bringing cruise ships to the Grand Prix. You don't want to know how much it is per night. You don't want to know. That's a lot of money. But I see this kind of thing happening, and also this effect where you'll take 2 cruises in one holiday. You'll cruise for a week. You'll be taken to a destination. You'll get off that ship for a week, and you'll be at an all-inclusive resort. And then you come back to the pier, and you get back on the same ship, and you go back a week from where you came from. Different ports of call on the way back versus coming out. And it's a 3-week holiday, 2 cruises, and 1 all-inclusive. And it's all-inclusive everywhere. Drinks, meals, you name it. It's money, but oh, are you pampered and looked after? I see that coming as well. That's another level of holidaying that we would like to have, as rather than just a 7-day cruise or a 14-day cruise. We want more. We just want more, and they're going to give it to us as long as we're prepared to pay. Mary's saying, I'm only cruising home. I'm only coming home to go back to work. I'm not in any hurry for that. Good for you, dear. Take a few days. The boss will understand. Fantastic. Karen's here. Hi, Bruce. Hey, Karen. How you doing? Woohoo! 761 subscribe. Awesome. Joining you late. Hope we didn't miss anything important. We've been talking today about what's your favorite area to go cruising at, and talking about the most popular ports or countries to go cruising at. And then we were talking about the fact that places like St. Maarten, Cayman Islands, British Virgin Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, they so depend on cruise passengers, anywhere from 20-odd to 1 ratio of passengers coming off cruise ships to residents living there full time. In this case, St. Maarten, it's upwards of 46, 47 to 1. Boy, do they need the money, and they get the money from all those tourists coming in for the day. They don't vote. They don't create political headaches in that sense. They don't pay taxes, but they pay retail and they drop some money, have a few drinks, have some fun, and then they leave. And they're not unemployed on the island collecting unemployment insurance. They just drop a bunch of money and off they go. And then tomorrow we got a bunch of new ships with a bunch of new happy passengers. And that's what we were talking about today, about how this cruise business is an economic driver for a number of island nations in particular, and cities in those countries too. And the hurricanes did a real number on the Caribbean last fall, in the Eastern Caribbean. It really hurt them badly, and we covered that. But we've had some great questions today, some great comments from you guys today. I've really enjoyed it. Tomorrow we'll come up with another topic. Anybody have any ideas? You just let me know, and we'll look into it. We'll be talking cruising and traveling and everything else. But I think today I'm going to wrap this up. Here in Creston, it's getting cloudier. It's getting more gray. The light from the inside is really the dominant light for me now. The outside light is very, very faint. But I want to thank all you folks watching me today. I hope we'll attract some more subscribers with this video. And if you're new and you'd like to subscribe, there's a button here, there's a button there. If you're an existing subscriber and you want to help the channel get exposed, send out messages on your Facebook page, share some of my videos out there, do some tweets, and tell the world that you guys should come to this daily deal this guy does. He does his live stream every day at 5 o'clock Eastern, and it's a lot of fun. Learn a lot of stuff about cruising. Love to have you join, and we'll keep this channel going and growing, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Debbie is saying goodbye, Bruce. Another great chat. Richard's saying have a great one till next time. Heather Young saying hi, Bruce. Paula K saying goodbye. Getting all my goodbyes now as versus all the hellos I was getting earlier. I want to wish you all, folks, a really good evening, and look forward to my live cast tomorrow. Every day, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern. And Wes is saying goodbye. Karen saying take care. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying thanks for watching today. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.